So now that we've seen the basics of how to use Google Drive, I'm going to show you how to use Google Backup and Sync, or Google Drive Desktop as it's sometimes referred to. This is a way of managing your files and folders without being logged onto your Google account on the internet. It just appears as another folder in your Windows Explorer, and it just makes life a little bit easier when you're using a computer. So the first thing you need to do is open a browser. It doesn't matter which browser you use, ideally Google Chrome, because that gives you the direct links to Google Drive, but obviously you can use Microsoft Edge or Opera or Firefox, whatever you choose. So in the search bar I'm going to type Google Backup and Sync. I've searched for it previously, so it's popping up there for me, but you might have to type in full. And then if you look for Download Backup and Sync, so this is the link that you want, where it says Download Backup and Sync Free Cloud Storage Google. So click on that link, and it takes you to a page that's got a big blue button that says Download Backup and Sync. So click on that. You need to agree to the terms, and that should commence the download. It's taken a little while on my computer, so I'm just going to click here to retry. There we go. Okay, so that's downloaded now, so I click on the open file link. And then click yes to allow it to make the changes. And then it'll download the installer. It takes a few seconds, as you can see. Not that many seconds though, because it's not a very big file. And there we go, complete. And now it's running the installer. So the installation is now complete, so I can click the close button, and now it should start the process of setting up Google Backup and Sync on my desktop computer. So I'm just going to minimize my browser for the time being. You'll notice it's also added some things to my desktop, so it's added a Google Sheets link, a Google Slides link, and a Google Docs link. If I go to my start menu, you should see Backup and Sync from Google appears in the list there, so that's installed properly, and then you should see in the background, look, it's starting the Google Sync setup process. So we need to click on Get Started, and the first thing it wants us to do is sign into our Google account. So I'm just going to type in my email address, click Next, type in the password, click Next. Because I've got two-factor authentication set up, it'll be texting me a verification code. Okay. Too many numbers in there. Click Next. So you can see how secure two-factor authentication is. I wouldn't be able to do anything without this phone. So now we get to the stage where we need to choose which folders to continuously back up to Google Drive. So what that means is any folders and files that you create within your Google Drive on this computer will also be copied up to your Google account on the internet. So it's almost like an automated backup. So click on Got It, and by default it'll back up your desktop, your documents and your pictures. So anything that you pop into those three folders in Windows will automatically be backed up. I'm going to untick those because I don't want it to back all that stuff up. So I want to choose the folder that I want to back up. Okay, and I'm actually going to create a folder in my user account on my Windows PC. So I'm going to create a folder. So I'm going to right click on there, click on new, click on folder and call it Google Stuff. Highlight it and then click select folder. Okay, once the next button appears, you'll see that's the only folder that's been ticked in the list. We can also choose to upload our photos. So if we're using a Google account on our phone and we're logged into our Google account on our phone, we can, any photos that we take with our phone will automatically be uploaded to Google Photos if we tick this box. Okay, so again, it's a good way of backing up all of your photos. So click on next and then click on got it, and then the next option you've got is to sync your drive to this computer. So I'm going to sync everything in my drive and then click start. So you see it creates another shortcut on your desktop called Google Drive, and this is at the moment an empty folder, but at some point it should start syncing the files that I've already got in my Google Drive on the internet. So let's just have a look at that. There we go, so you can see it's popped up. So I'm going to click on open Google Drive, and you see it's, you should have seen it's already starting to download that test folder that I created earlier on. And in Google Drive on the internet, I've also got a Google Stuff folder. So what you need to remember is the difference between the folder that I created and your drive. So the Google Stuff folder, you'll notice it's in the breadcrumb trail Computers My PC. So that's the folder I created manually on my PC, and we've also got a set of folders in your drive. That's the one I created earlier on, the test folder in the last session. And I've also got my Google Stuff folder on my PC. So you can add whatever folders you want to from your computer to your Google Drive, and you've also got your default drive folder that will back up any folders that you've got in there. Okay, so let me just show you how this works. So this is my Google Drive folder. I'm going to create a new document in there. Just going to create a standard text document just because they're really small. And I'm going to call that test 2. And you'll see it's got a little circular arrow symbol, and as soon as that circular arrow symbol disappears and it's got a green tick, that's now synced with my Google Drive. And if I go back to my Google Drive, you'll see there's my test 2 text file that I've just created. So it's all automatic, no need to worry about anything. And again, as with the file that I created before, I can share this file if I want to. So I can right click on it and click share. Add somebody to the list. Name them as an editor or a viewer or a commenter. So I'm just going to make them a viewer. Type a message in if you want to. I'm not going to. Then click send. And again, it gives me the warning about sharing to a non-Google account. Okay, so that's the basics of using Google Drive. We've now got a local folder on our desktop machine that's also called Google Drive, and we've also got a folder called Google Stuff in here that I created earlier on, that's actually local to this computer but is also synced with Google Drive, and you can tell it's synced with Google Drive because it's got the little green tick with it. Okay. At any point that I want to, I can actually change the settings. So if you point to where your clock is down at the bottom here and you click on the little up arrow, oh sorry, it's there, look, the little cloud. So if you click on the little cloud and it pops up your Google Drive manager, and if you click on the 3 dots and click on preferences, I can then, if I want to, re-tick those boxes, desktop, documents and pictures, to start syncing those at any time, or I can actually choose folder and create another folder within my user account, and that can be anywhere on your computer. So I could go into documents and I could create a new folder there and call it Google Stuff 2. Select that folder, and there we go, it's added it to the list. So that now is also backing up. Okay, as soon as you click OK, it'll start backing that up, and I might just have to refresh my script. Oh no, it's there, it's done it automatically. There we go. Google Stuff 2 is now syncing, so anything that I put into Google Stuff 2 will also be synced. And Bob's your uncle. So that's how to use Google Drive. Thanks for watching.